So I just wanted to say Happy Pride Month, y'all. Happy Pride Month. I'm sure that's what we all gather here to celebrate. Love is love, plur, peace, love, unity, respect, all that. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Rainbow All Stars. You know who you are. Oh, no, hold on. No, not Pride. Okay. Oh, okay. Right. All right, y'all. Welcome. Thank you. And happy Juneteenth weekend, y'all. It is Juneteenth weekend. That's right. Free. Free the black man. That's right. All the peoples is free. Yeah, it's freedom we celebrating. No. Hold on, y'all. What do you mean? Juneteenth weekend. Yeah. It is a long weekend, but it is a holiday. Father's Day. Oh, that's right. It's Father's Day, y'all. Hey, happy Father's Day. Happy Baby Daddy's Day. Happy Buddy Ock Day. Happy Stepdaddy Day. Happy Bonus Dad Day. That's right. It's Father's Day. We came here to talk about Father's Day. Holy crap, holy yeah, y'all. For real. Daddy issues. Daddy issues. Y'all got daddy issues? Yo, it's so much to be said about a father these days, yo. About the difference between a father and a good father, a bad father. It's a it's a broad spectrum what fatherhood is. And we're gonna talk about all that. You know what I mean? Um, if you're in here, remember share the live, share the live. You can always go drop your comments in the comment section for one, being a father and what it means to actually be a father. I'm gonna say this definitively. Only a man can be a father. I ain't talking about identifying as a man. I'm talking about being a man. It's not something that you can just say you are. A boy cannot be a man. A girl cannot grow into a man. A woman cannot become a man. A boy must pay his dues and reach maturity to become a man. And only then can he actually be a father. You can reproduce. You got to at least start off by being born with a dick and balls. If you weren't born with a dick and balls, it wasn't your destiny to be a dad. I'm not even sorry about that. Y'all need to hear that. If you take issue with that, feel free to drop it in the comments, y'all. Drop it in the comments and share it live. If you do not know what it means to be a man, then you're probably not one. Being a man, there's certain things that are expected of you. You have responsibilities in manhood. They involve a lot of showing respect. It involves a lot of taking accountability. It involves a lot of responsibility. We we build neighborhoods. We build communities, and that's our job to maintain and protect and build communities. There's more facets to it, a lot more, but for the main part, that's what we do. We grow and build. Where that comes into being a father, y'all gonna hear me say this a lot. Men are biologically predispositioned to spread seed. So yeah, our making babies, putting babies in women is what a father does. That's, yeah, it's what you got to do to be, you know, somebody's dad, to become a father. Put a baby in somebody, and then take the necessary steps to raise the person that you put in her and that she baked for 9 months. And when it was ready, the world that you shaped, formed, and fashioned as a man is your responsibility to pass it on to the child. And whatever shape that man leaves it in is what the child will inherit. So, it's a huge responsibility being a father. And I respect that position. I got mad love for the men in my life growing up who, you know, um, fashioned my ideologies and beliefs, taught me what I now believe are the things that are important in manhood and in life in general, and put me on the path that I'm on, or at least helped me to find the path that I'm on. All of those things are great things in a person's life. I appreciate them. I'm not saying you should. I don't know what path you're on. Many of your life might have put you on a bad path. You got to take accountability for the outcome of the child that you raised and the world that you gave them. It's a thankless job being a father. You can These days are more so for for a father's family to feel like they to show appreciation. And as men, as fathers, we appreciate it. As a bonus dad myself, just anything, just a, a hug or a hello is cool, because as a man, we have to lay back and look at our handiwork. That's what we got to deal with. And so if you turn out to be a good person, your father looks at you as a job well done, and you don't need to bake a cake. You don't need gift certificates and flowers and cards and cheap ties. The ties are funny. Hey y'all, keep the ties coming. They funny. It's cool. The ugly sweaters and all of that stuff. Uh, It's a nice gesture, but we don't need all that. We don't require it. We're not going to love you any less if you um, don't want to forget, or whatever you can't afford or whatever. A phone call, hello. It's all good. But in reality, a good dad don't need none of that. Good dad is fine. Just knowing that you're okay. You know, just say thanks for being there. Thanks for being a dad. Thanks for being who you are. That's all. That's like the best. That's the best gift ever. Just saying, hey, look, I turned out all right thanks to you. I got your genes and your good looks, and I also have your savvy for the the streets and for social interaction, whatever you got from your dad that was a positive thing that you appreciate. It's all good. Just just a nod, especially if you're a man. If you're a son, you see your dad on Father's Day. Just that's all. We know what it means, and it's all good. Um, but for the most part, a lot of what fathers do goes unnoticed. The hard work that's put into it, the sacrifice. I always say love is measured in sacrifice. To be a parent at all takes so much sacrifice. And so I appreciate that. Take the money that you save, that I taught you how to save, and treat yourself. You grew up as a good kid. In reality, if people put dads in the back, and I think most of the time they do it because they know they can. Because dad ain't sweating it. Mom will give the kids $50 a piece to go out shopping and buy dad something. And dad is like, save your money, because when you want to go out this weekend, who they going to come to for money? They're going to come to dad to ask for that $50 right back. So, dads are really kind of it's a thankless job. It's a thankless job. And a good dad is proud to do it and doesn't really need no pat on the back or nothing like that. Um, how do I know this? I am a proud bonus dad. My ex-wife came with a ready-made family. She already had her daughter, and she's one of the most beautiful souls that I could have ever imagined. I think having having my bonus daughter in my life has given me a fresh perspective on life, and has helped me really think about where I believe the direction a man is supposed to go. And I love her for that. She's an awesome person. My wife and I together aren't together anymore. My wife and I aren't together anymore, but I still appreciate the experience of being a husband and a father. She calls me bonus dad. That's my little cub. Hey cub. So the the lessons are not any different. The biology is different because one of the things you notice is that um you'll notice the subtle nuances that your stepchild does not get from their mother. So you know that he or she got that from their father. And you're like, if there was something that I could change, it might be that. And for the most part, you love and you share and you grow and you just let it be like that. Now, there's been debate lately about whether it's good to be a stepdad. You got to do it for the right reasons, man. There's literally females out here looking for a man to take care of her and another man's kid. And then your first instinct is usually like, what is the other man doing? Why I got to pay and spend time and raise and sacrifice? Like, wait, why did this fall on me when all you wanted was just to be, in a relationship, just you and the woman? And it's like you got duped into it. So they call you a simp. Look at you, you shelling out all your money, you sacrificing all of this stuff that another man didn't want to sacrifice. You doing all the stuff another man didn't think it was worth doing. And so it's like you get looked at a certain way, and you may look at it yourself that way. It ain't easy. It's not it's not a piece of cake trying to juggle the respect issue and what you think your role should be versus what you think their natural biological father's role should be. It's like you don't want to be doing his job, but somebody got to do it, and just do it the best you can. That's the approach I took. If you feel like you may do a better job than them, who knows? Who knows? But it's not a competition. Everybody, all three parties are looking at it as, yo, just get it done. Just get it done. Do a good job. Do the best you can, yo. It doesn't matter. The kid comes back here for weekends. The kid comes back here for the summer. Just whatever. It takes a village. It takes a village. And so there's nothing wrong, in my opinion, with a man stepping up as long as he's doing it for the right reasons. Don't take no little kid's shit just to get in mama's drawers or to stay in mama's house. Screw that. Smack the little brat across the noggin. You must have fell and cracked your shell. You think you're gonna disrespect me? All that you ain't my real daddy shit. You gonna be my real target. Knock your block clean off your shoulders. But that's not something I ever had to go through, thankfully. So it's all good, no matter what kind of role as a father you play in that child's life. You know what I mean? Like I said, a man builds communities. So just be good at it. It's not the child's fault, whatever the mother is going through. It ain't the child's fault. Because the child is a child and the mother is the mother. And if the mother can't take control, that's still her fault, no matter what. So no misplaced blame over here. But yeah, that's being a father. But what about having a father? I know people who don't have a father who, who say, oh well, you got a dad, you lucky. 'Cause my dad not here. Oh, well, that doesn't mean that person is any luckier than you. You might have dodged a bullet. Know this: just because he's around doesn't mean he's good for the kid. Just because he's there don't mean that the child is in good hands. Not every man is a good father. He might be abusive, he might be dismissive. I think the worst kind of abuse is the psychological abuse that a father can put his kids through. Um, when I was growing up, I think I may have said this before, but when I was growing up, I thought all kids were mistakes. It's like, wait, like who was mentally, financially, and maturity wise prepared to just go and get pregnant? Somebody was. Like, I thought you had to be rich to want kids. Having your father resent you for coming at a time when he wasn't ready ain't your fault. But, abuse is abuse. So, yeah, there's people who have their fathers telling them, "Nigga, yeah, you a mistake, or you ain't really my kid." it's, it's it's bad out there. Not everybody is suited for this job, yo. Every Not everybody can handle it, yo. So you gotta definitely just know who is around these kids. You know, some kids you come up some kids when you may see them with a man, and they're like, blinking twice, like, help me. Like, I don't want to go home with this fool. They come in with fresh bruises every day, whelps on their backs and arms and legs, and you don't know what's going on in that household. You gotta, not every dad wants to protect their children. Shit, my dad told me he was jealous of me. Imagine being raised by somebody that's jealous of you. Can you gotta be, you gotta understand that, sometimes him being there may be worse than him not being there. Sometimes you gotta eject that fool out the picture. But whatever you have to say about that, remember what I said, drop it in the comments. Um, like, share, subscribe. There's an advantage to knowing who your father is. I ain't saying you gotta spend a lot of time with him. I ain't saying you gotta live with him or he needs to be around. But there's an advantage to getting to know him. This is my philosophy on parenthood. Every person is a mixture of one third their mom, one third their dad, and one third whatever life does to the other two. And so, not knowing your father is not knowing half of who you are. If you don't know half of yourself, that means you have to try and reinvent the wheel to figure out why you feel the way you feel, why you look the way you look, why you have the attitude that you have, why you have the sicknesses that and the strengths that you have, where they come from, and how to cultivate them, and how to deal with them, and react and respond. I know people who their children are going through some shit, and I have to go to the parent like, do you not realize that you go through the same shit? You know, you go through the same shit. And they're like, oh, well, I don't know how to help them. Well, how'd you get through it? Yeah, sometimes they just need to know. They need to know both sides of who they are, so that they can then navigate life with that knowledge. Anybody who has had to go through life missing their father, it's difficult. It's confusing a lot of times. Trying to figure out, like, why do people look at me a certain way? You know, why do I have this impact on my environment? You got to get to know your father if you have that opportunity. I ain't saying you're going to like what you find out, but if you find out that, your father has the same addiction as you, your father has the same mental incapacitation as you, your father has the same pride as you, the same slick talk. Maybe he cares about the same thing you care about and dismisses the same thing you dismiss. He might be a he might be a bad father, and then you might know. Then you'll know that you got to step up and overcome his feelings. But you got to know. If you don't know him, there's going to be a huge part of your life that you're just going to have to figure out on your own, which is going to hold you back. It's not good, you know. You just got to get to know him. This is an important part. Fathers, I'm talking to y'all too. Your kids need to know you. You ain't perfect, and they need to know why they ain't perfect. It's because of your dumbass. Even if you or your father don't do the best job, I wasn't the best bonus dad, but I think every reasonable and good man is supposed to think that they can do better, that they could have done better. We all feel like we should have did better, right? But I mean, I was a really sucky bonus dad. I don't think I was abusive or anything, but being thrown into the position is just it was jarring, and it took me, longer than I would have liked to learn the lessons that I needed to go in with. But we do the best we can, right? But you still gotta you still have to, understand the good times, the bad times. You gotta understand that these are lessons. You gotta take them with you. You gotta pass them on. So that's what genetics is. It's taking information and passing it on to the next generation. And so, you know, there's gonna be times when that feel like good times that may not be. There's gonna be times that feel like bad times. It may not be. Just remember how your father handled it. You might remember a time when you were about to get jumped or beat up, whatever. Your father showed up, you know, put 6 shots in the air, and everybody ran off. It's not really the best way to handle that kind of situation, but you know, sometimes dad got to do what dad got to do. You know what I mean? Or it may have been a time where you had a ballet recital. Dad couldn't come because he had to work overtime. Why? To pay for your ballet lessons. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to understand a lot of it until you become a parent yourself. And then you'll understand what sacrifice is. So sometimes it's going to be good times, it's going to be bad times. Just take the lessons. You know, um, somebody who I respect always says to me, eat the meat, spit out the bones. Just take what you need, and don't worry about the parts that seem like they worked against you or just didn't work for you. Learn the lesson, the parts of the lesson that you need to learn. Keep it pushing. You know, don't sit there and harp on, oh well, we were poor and it was my dad's fault, or we were a broken family, a broken home, because he messed up the money, or because he cheated, or because he was alcoholic, or look, you know, nobody's perfect, man. You just gotta eat the meat, spit out the bones. What did you learn? What did you learn from the situation? I mean, um, yeah. So also, let's talk about it from the aspect of the baby mama. Y'all ain't off the hook. I could have went in on y'all on Mother's Day, but it was Mother's Day. There's a difference between a baby daddy and a co-parent. Stop calling these men sperm donors. You ain't had this baby on purpose. You didn't get pregnant on purpose by this guy. Stop it. You were in a moment. He was in a moment. You were complicit in this. You wanted to make it. You wanted to keep it. You wanted to deliver it. And then you wanted to sue him for child support. Fuck out of here. I hate child support, but I get it. You ain't trying to do it by yourself. It's always better if you have help. But y'all be leaning on niggas. Y'all be leaning like, oh well, he gotta come up with more. 'Cause I know he got more, so he gotta give more. Like, what are you doing? What are you giving? You know. Now, if you're co-parenting, with your baby dad. That's cool. Don't be talking shit about him to the kid. The kid is going to see. Let the kid make up their own minds. Let the kid ask their own questions. Stop putting these thoughts into their heads, yo. That's not good for the child's development. And then when the child grows up, it's gonna make you look bad. And it's gonna at the times when you need the kids' help, they're gonna be resentful. Now dad is married to this chick that I hate. We could have tried again. We could have, and you went and messed it up. Yeah, don't do that for your child. Don't have if you got hate in your heart, don't subject it. Don't subject the child to that. Because again, whatever the mother is going through is not the child's fault. Same goes with the father. It's not the child's fault. Y'all really need to ease back on the if y'all not married. Y'all single mothers is vicious. I'm not saying niggas is perfect either. Remember, nobody's perfect. I'm not saying it's never their fault. I ain't saying that. I'm just saying be realistic about it. As realistic as you can. I don't expect for everybody to know everybody's side of the story, but let the child make up their own mind. Especially if you got multiple baby dads. Man, come on. The common denominator is you. You got all these baby daddies, they all hate you and they all in the same spot. And you sitting here with multiple kids, to 3 or 4 different niggas blaming them. I was gonna say wondering where you went wrong, but that would take an act of accountability. Who doing that? And never even suspect. Then all these kids they writing songs about mama and how mama made it work, mama made it happen, mama was always there. Yeah, because she kicked daddy to the curb. Because she ain't wifey material. No, yeah, moms can be vicious with it. You gotta look at all your dads, look at all her baby dads, and she probably got a type. What do they got in common? Talk to your dad. Find out, especially after you grow up. He probably wasn't allowed to come around. He probably wasn't even allowed to come around. He probably wanted to and went to court for it or everything. You know, when you start taking care of your mom finances, look into her bank account and see if she was cashing checks from the state. So yeah, like it's it's weird for dads that gotta come pick their kid up out the arms of another nigga. You go for your weekend and you in the house, you jit in the house where with her boyfriend. You got your 10-year-old son sitting in the house with his mom boyfriend, new boyfriend, third boyfriend this month. And he's just sitting there with no shirt on, playing the video games you bought for your son. Just take it easy on dad. That's all I'm saying. Or however many dads. Just be mindful that this is affecting the kids. If you don't put the kids first, you ain't no kind of parent. And then you can fight me on that. I don't care. Go ahead and put whatever you want in the comment section. But you know, if you're not looking out for your own kids, you ain't shit. Everything you do affects the kid. Now I know it ain't easy trying to figure out, oh, is this guy gonna be okay around the kids, and is he going? Is my kid going to accept him? First off, the kids need to have discipline. It should be like hard as hell to find out if a kid accept a child because they gotta respect them. If you raising kids that disrespect adults, you ain't wifey material. Again, you gonna get dogged out because I'll be damned if I try to build a future with a woman who obviously raised disrespectful kids. You ain't raising my kid. I gotta talk to your baby daddy, find out why he ain't want your ass. But nah, like you just have to find out where his head is at. Stop sitting there trying to fill a void. That's not any man's job to fill a void left by another man. It's not his job. Um, and you don't want to put that on the kid either. You know, the kid's void is different from your void. Pause. You know, they're not, the kid ain't looking for a daddy. The kid is looking to be raised properly. The kid needs a daddy, but they don't know that. They don't know that they are missing a dad. They don't know that. All they know is, you know, if they're old enough to remember daddy being around and old enough to remember daddy missing, then, you know, then yeah, they might go looking for dad. But how often does that happen? Look at Maury. So many of these kids, they don't even know who their dad is. Some kids don't know that they have a dad. They don't start asking questions till they turn, you know, 8 or 9. Like, wait a minute, how come everybody else got like a dad around? What about me? Yeah, some kids are that ignorant. Don't put it past them. You know, I mean, if you're a good mom, you're taking care of business, then yeah, your child should not know what they're lacking, but you know. So be mindful of how you choose which man, what kind of man that you want to be in your child's life. One of the philosophies I always go by is that the very first thing a parent can do to be a good parent is choose a suitable mate. That means to be a good dad, the very first thing you got to do is look for your child's mom. And it has to be a good mom. And vice versa. The very first thing you can do to be a good mom is make sure that the child has a good dad. So that's like, you know, that in a nutshell is going to determine what kind of relationship y'all have, what kind of household y'all have. You know, don't sit there and find a bad boy to make babies with and expect him to be a good dad. And if you do, use a fool. Because I don't really like telling people what to do, but I will tell you what happens if you do it. And use a fool. If you think that this guy who has no respect for the law, tattoos all over his face, walk around with his drawers showing, is gonna be a good dad. That kind of person don't even seem like he got a dad himself. I said what I said. You got a problem with that? Fight me. Or just drop it in the comments. But yeah, so don't sit there and think you're gonna turn a shitty person into a good parent by forcing kids on them. You think you're going to turn them around and you think you have kids, think having kids is going to keep them. You're doing a child a disservice. I know people who do that. I know people who, you know, see a woman and be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to pop a baby in her. Why? Why, bruh? You don't want to be in a relationship with her. You don't want to, you just want, you know, for her you want something to claim with her. It's corny, bruh. Same thing with women. They find a nigga with means. Oh yeah, well, I'm gonna hurry up and get pregnant so that all you gonna do is leave you with the baby. Then what? You think he's gonna take care of you? Wow, man, it's a new day and age, man. Niggas can afford hitmen these days, and they live they live high up in those skyscrapers, man. Getting pushed down the steps is gonna take on a whole new meaning. Yeah, you know, y'all using kids. You're using your reproductive systems for the wrong reasons. You know, a lot of the people celebrating Father's Day today don't want to be celebrating Father's Day because they ain't want to be your baby dad. I said it. If I'm lying, drop it in the comment section. Tell me all about it. And remember to share the live. I'm only offering the truth, nothing more. All right. If you feel like your truth contradicts mine, drop it in the comment section. But yeah, that's the very first thing you can do is pick a suitable partner to father your seed. That's how you are a good mother and you choose a good father and vice versa, man. Stop sitting there trying to force this on people. We had the abortion episode last weekend, and look, people are fighting for your right to be able to choose whether you remain pregnant or not. So don't be sitting there trying to force people. Is no rule, man. There's no rule. But yo, I think we had a pretty good episode about daddy issues. Gave y'all the opportunity to get it off your chest. If you got anything else to say after I hang up this mic, drop it in the comment section. You can come back and see me. We're going to revisit this topic at least once a year. But you can always count on Crimson Grid to bring you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. All right. Maybe like an opinion here and there. But for all you good fathers out there, I want to wish y'all a happy Father's Day. Y'all get at me, y'all. All right. Deuces, dogs.
Is my weapon of choice. Just a suggestion, get out my way if you ain't with it while I get what I'm getting. For I get hyper than Red Bull mixed with epinephrine, getting it better than sex with a perpetual erection. Now let's get it, let's get it, let's get it, let's get it in, get up, get out my way if you ain't with it. Let's do it, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it. I'ma do it to death till my last effing breath. Now let's get it, let's get it, let's get it, let's get it in, get up, get out my way if you ain't with it. Let's do it, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it, let's get 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 it.